In this first section, we'll start with a chord dictionary. We'll consider some of the essential chords that you might need for playing blues. We'll start with simple three-note structures, major and minor triads. Then we'll look at larger chord voicings, seventh chords, which will add more colour to your playing. And then finally, a short selection of essential useful chords, which might take your playing in a different direction. Here we go. To begin with, let's look at the major triad. This simple three-note chord forms the bedrock of much blues and rock guitar playing, and you'll hear and see these chords used by players like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix in particular. The major triad is constructed by taking the root, third and fifth from a major scale, and the chord can then be reshaped or inverted on the fingerboard in several different patterns. We'll do these chords in the key of A. Let's consider the minor triad now. The shapes are going to be very similar to the major triads because all we have to do is flatten the third in the chord each time. Again, we'll have a look at several different fingerings and inversions on the fretboard, and whilst you're playing these, think about how you might get these into your blues playing. Now let's take a look at the major 7th chord. Very similar to the major triad in sound, but we're adding on a major 7th note each time, which is going to give this chord a slightly softer, richer sound. Very good for slow blues. Major 7ths can be a little bit harder to get into your fingers because we're playing more notes, but they're well worth having in your chord arsenal. The minor 7th chord is one of my favourite chordal sounds, giving a really soulful approach. What we're doing here is taking a minor triad, but adding a flattened 7th each time. Again, that 7th just gives the addition of a bit more richness and a bit more character to the chord. So here are the 5 shapes for an A minor 7. When you hear people talk about dominant blues, they're usually referring to the use of dominant chords in the playing. We're going to look at some dominant 7th chord shapes here. The idea of this chord is to take a major triad and add a flattened 7th to it. In the key of A, this would involve A, C sharp and E, and then the flattened 7th G. The resulting sound is a little bit harder, a little bit more tense, but it gives you that really funky kind of sound. Essential knowledge for any blues guitar rhythm player. This next chord, the diminished 7th, is a bit of a strange one. What you'll notice is that it's actually symmetrical in nature. Although there are 4 shapes, they're all the same. So as the inversion is created, i.e. the notes are jumbled round, the fingerings stay the same. On its own, a diminished 7th chord gives a very, very tense sound. But in blues, it can be a great addition as a transition chord between the 4 and the 5. For example, if we are playing a blues in the key of A, the 1 chord would be A, the 4 chord would be D, and the 5 chord would be E. If I put a D sharp in between the D and the E, it's going to give me a really, really nice tense passing chord before I get to the 5 chord. Have a go with it on the sample charts and you'll really see how it sounds. And finally, here's a short selection of useful chords. These are some of my favourite chords to play in many different contexts. The great advantage of these chords is that it's going to give you a little bit more colour and individuality to the playing. And when you throw them out at the next jam, you might raise some eyebrows. Here we go.